What's up YouTube? My name is Harrison. You're watching Recycled Rhythms. Today we're doing a little video on the Akai MPD226 as well as the Electron Digitakt. So pretty much what I've done here is Akai released a nice editor for the 226. So all of the pad controls here, all of the rotary encoders and the faders, those are all assignable via like CC over MIDI, and then just straight MIDI triggers here. You can assign the channel and the note and everything. Pretty cool. So you've got 4 pad banks here. So pad bank A on the MPD226 is going to just be triggering each MIDI track on the Digitakt. So the first 8 pads are the 8 audio tracks on the Digitakt, and then the second 8 pads are the MIDI tracks. And then pad bank B here, 1, 2, 3 is 1, 2, 3 on the Digitakt, so typically kick, snare, hi-hat. And then 4 here is our sample, or whatever sound we want, and it's going to play that sample chromatically with the rest of these pads in ascending order, so the pitch is getting higher. And then pad bank C is going to be just like that, but instead of playing the notes higher, it's playing it lower. And then pad bank 4 on here, it's just going to take the common channel, so whatever we have selected on the Digitakt, and we're just going to be able to play it chromatically. All the knobs and faders here. 3 different control banks. So control bank A is going to correspond to all the controls on the source page on the Digitakt. So everything from the way the sample is being played back to the bitrate reduction to selecting the sample slot, and then control bank B on here, we're doing the filter section on the Digitakt. So you've got envelope controls on the knobs here, and then filter frequency, resonance, and then pad bank C is the amp page on the Digitakt. So we can control the overdrive, the reverb send, the delay send, and the envelope control for the amp, all right here on the MPD. And it's pretty cool because this has velocity and the note repeat, kind of just some extra features that the Digitakt doesn't really have. And we're just going to kind of come up with some clever ways to sort of chop samples, like an MPC style sample chopping on the Digitakt. Even though the Digitakt doesn't have a chop function, we're going to kind of go through that and see what we can do. Cool. Thanks for tuning in. All right, so just getting into like a little overview here of what's going on. The 226 has my Digitakt preset in there. I've gone into the project setting on the Digitakt in the MIDI config, and I have, port config is receiving notes and control messages through, a 5-pin MIDI connection. And then we have each one of the channels on the Digitakt set to correlate to each MIDI channel. So track 1 channel is channel 1, track 2 channel is channel 2, so on and so forth. And then the auto channel here is set to MIDI channel 16, which we'll, demonstrate later on. So I've got a, project here, a pattern on the Digitakt. I've got the exact same sample loaded into all 8 audio tracks. However, I have different start times for each track here. So it's kind of a way of chopping that sample up 8 times, and because I have the control banks here mapped to the Digitakt, I can actually just find my chops right here on the the MPD, which is great. I can move this fader around, and you might be able to see on the video it's moving the playhead around. You could certainly hear it. So at that point I would chop up the sample on all the tracks, and then we can kind of play it like we would on an MPC or something. And then of course I would resample that and come up with some kind of chop, and record that into here, selecting the source as the internal, so it's resampling what's happening on the Digitakt. And then I would just load up an adjacent pattern with the kick, snare, hi-hat, and then the sample arrangement that I've done. So in this case I've already done that, so this pattern here I'll move to the next bank on the the MPD here. So kick, snare, hi-hat, and then my sample chop, which I've reversed the sample, I've put some effects on there, and I've played the chops around a bit and just resampled that in there. And now what's great about these, the other pad banks I have here, is I can play the sample chromatically along with my drums, which is great. So it's great for kind of coming up with ideas. And then of course the next pad bank here, pad bank C, same thing, kick, snare, hi-hat, but it plays the sample down chromatically, so the pitch of the sample is going down, which is course, you know, you can record that into the Digitakt. Or, you know, pad bank D here, I have set to the channel 16. So on the Digitakt, we set channel 16 to the auto channel. So it's going to chromatically play whatever channel I have selected. So, you know, the snare chromatically, or the hi-hat, or, you know, ideally the sample. So I can, you know, I can play the sample chromatically. So let's record that. So I can go to the metronome here, turn it on, have it count me in 1 bar, and then, you know, record and play. So that's just recorded in now. And now I can, you know, record some drums over that. I can kind of jam on that a little bit. So, you know, I can switch to the kick drum pattern here, go back to one of my other banks. So I'll have it count me in. Whatever, you can quantize it, you can move it around, because you can still, you know, work with the sequencer here on the Digitakt. So I can, you know, if my snare's a little off, I can move the timing around or whatever. And then of course, you know, all the control stuff still applies. So, you know, while it's playing, even I can, you know, go to this track on the Digitakt here where my sample is, and I can mess with the delay. Or, you know, the filter. So yeah, nothing amazing, but just kind of a use case example for what you guys can do. Cool. Thanks for watching. Bye.